to compete on women's sport. So it's not a right-wing propaganda campaign to try and tell people that's what's happening.
I don't know if there's like a... I hate that I'm explaining this because everybody knows this intuitively, okay? I wish there was a way to talk about magnitude like in a very snappy, quick sense, because people are very good at using magnitude to like pretend that a thing is more important than it is. But be aware that I could be wrong on this, okay? I'm not a formal nutritionist or dietitian, right? But if I had to imagine, okay, if somebody asked me, what do you think contributes to like the overall health of a human being physically, okay? Your genetics are going to probably play a decent-ish amount. I'll put it right here, okay? I'm probably going to say things like your, like the food that you eat, okay? I'll just have diet, like broadly speaking, I'll say like right here. Actually, I will make this bigger probably. I might say things like physical activity. You can call it working out, exercise, staying on your feet, whatever. I probably make this like fairly big right here. Enough sleep is a really big one, like right here. And then we can call this, I don't know, miscellaneous shit. I don't know. Maybe I would reapportion these a little bit. But the issue you have, this is a huge thing with RFK, okay, is people will correctly identify like a thing and say that it's a problem, but it's like a subset of a subset of a subset of a thing. So when you look at the overall health of Americans and some guy wants to talk to you about like red dye 27, like what makes you healthy for the food that you eat? I'm going to like section off this much here and I'm just going to call this like fucking like this, like all of this. I would just call this macros. And I'll include calories and macros, right? Are you a fat fuck? Do you roughly get about as much protein, carbs, or fat as you need to survive, right? That's probably, honest to God, like 70% of your physical health that comes from your diet, okay? If you want, you can also get into things like toxins or micronutrients are important, especially if you have a deficit in something, right? But as long as like this is probably like the majority of it, okay? But also, there are going to be things up here that also matter. Like there could be toxic additives to your food. Maybe you're eating too much fish, it has mercury, whatever. They do affect you, right? It's not good. Maybe your food is too much of a particular chemical, then in high amounts, it's going to be like toxic over long periods of time or might increase whatever, right? Sure, that's fine. But people like RFK will take these micro categories and they'll talk about, it's like explaining the totality of American health problems. Like if you were to implement every single thing that RFK talks about in terms of like cutting down on certain like bromelite, formaldehyde, whatever the fuck the random, if you were to take all of those things and implement every single one, that would, in my total uneducated estimation, okay, that would probably save you 1/100th of the health saving effects of like a sugar tax. Like if you were to tell people, oh, hey, by the way, ultra processed foods and sugars, they're gonna have a 100% tax on them, get fucked. That one thing alone would be like, oh shit, well, time to eat less of that and time to eat food that's more satiating. That would probably save you 100 times more than this bullshit. But then the issue is when you fight against these people, you'll go and you fight against the people like the RFKs, and they'll say, well, actually, this is a toxic thing. And then they'll like show you, I tried to research a guy was saying that it might be the case that in high enough amounts, this thing could be carcinogenic. And it's like, what? Why the? If you want to reduce like chance of cancer, fucking eat less red meat, right? That's like a thing that I'm pretty sure has been extensively studied by this point. And people know, I think there's a very high like correlation between like, I think it's all-cause mortality and cancer rates for red meat. The hyperfixation on these like points where they're not necessarily wrong, but they have the magnitude completely off. And that drives me crazy because they present these like micro issues that are still issues. They are important. And if there's bad things in our food, we should get rid of them. I agree. But to pretend like this is going to solve the autism and ADHD and obesity crisis, like get the fuck out of here. Stupid.